everyone, thank you for joining us for our Living Plus cooking moment. Today we have Rocky with us, our chef, who will be making something really fabulous. I'm Jennifer, the health coach, and Rocky, what are we going to be making today?
Ooh, I'm excited. So we're going to be making some skewers with some tomato, basil, and mozzarella. I got some fresh basil from my garden. The reason why we're doing this is because it's basil season and grape/tomato season, and a few of my chef friends and family members are drowning in grapes and basil and literally can't get rid of it fast enough. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest of this, make some pesto, and then freeze them in ice trays. And if you go to like a dollar store and get the old ice trays, they're 1 ounce ice trays each. So then a lot of times what I like to do is even make just a small type, like 2-person pasta, and then just throw an ice cube or 2 in there and mix it up, and then you're done. That's a nice little quick little breakfast or lunch. We figure it's barbecue season, so we're gonna make some turkey burgers. Some people like to grate onions and put it into their burgers. I find that turkey and chicken burgers are a little bit more moist, so I'm not gonna do that. But chef tip, if you take a cheese grater and a white onion and you grate the white onion onto paper towels or a towel, and then you squeeze the excess juice off, you can actually add that to the burger, and it adds a lot of juiciness to it. Almost like a meatloaf, right? So
nice flavor too.
Yeah, we're just gonna add some garlic powder and onion powder to this, a little ketchup. Ketchup is just for a little bit of flavor, a little bit of color, because it's a little weird biting into a solid white burger. So we're gonna put a little bit more flavor and color in with some Worcestershire. Top it off with a little thin red onion, and I'm actually gonna add a little red onion into this for a little bit of bite. I prefer like beef eater or heirloom tomatoes and some pickles of your choice. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut them in half like this and leave them like that. So what we're gonna try to do is that I couldn't find the small balls either, right? So we're just gonna cut everything to size and try to make it relatively bite size. We're gonna put these on skewers to make them look pretty anyways. If you're having friends or family over and you do a simple thing like a little tiny skewer, it makes it look so much more pretty.
And what a nice way to dress up such a simple, fresh dish is put it on skewers. I mean, it elevates it so much to just make it something almost completely different. I guarantee people go for that first. I would.
Yeah, and if you think about it, most barbecues, everybody's hanging out outside, right? Well, yesterday was 92 degrees, and some people don't want to get a big hot burger, right? I mean, I know I don't. When I'm outside, I usually go for the pasta salads or the fruit and salads, or something like that. So we got all these cut up. I'm thinking these were kind of on the bigger side, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to cut these in half or in quarters. Let's see. Yeah, these are huge. So probably quarters.
Oh yeah, there's some good size mozzarella balls.
Yeah, so I think that is about the same size, right?
Mm-hmm.
So boom, there you go. You could use cherry tomatoes, you could use grape tomatoes, you could use regular tomatoes, just try to cut them all the same size. Mm-hmm. And if you get the heirloom tomatoes, I would even go for different colors. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try a couple different ways just to see what looks better. It can look different on different plates, different angles. So what we're gonna do is do about two full layers here. And I'll take a nice pretty leaf like this.
And same idea with the leaves. You're just looking for something that really is similar in size, just so that it looks like it blends well.
There.
And something like this, a great way to get some extra protein with the mozzarella, some extra nutrients with the tomato, get some extra veggies in, and nice and simple and light.
And when you get a couple of these done, it's so simple. If you just look at what I'm doing, right? All I'm doing is just 2 layers of tomato, 2 of mozz, and 3 of the basil. I think that a basil reduction will go really nice over the top of this. Most good dishes have acid in them, like a balsamic or a apple cider vinegar or distilled vinegar. So we'll go ahead and do what? I'm thinking 2 more. We'll have 2 each.
I mean, it's so nice and quick and easy, just boom, 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 right on the skewer, and it makes it so easy for someone as, you know, an appetizer or just a compliment to their dish, just to throw this on their plate. Or pick it up and go while you're mingling at a barbecue.
Yeah, and what I would do is actually I would finish these off with maybe a tiny bit of salt on top. Later on, we're gonna dress these with some balsamic reduction. Make sure it's reduction, also it'll go right through it, right? So this is a very thick reduction. Okay, we're gonna get to the turkey now, and I suggest making it this way at first, just because. Oh, you get a straight trade on me?
You're gonna switch sides.
Just because what I say is usually listen to the recipe first, right?
So basically you've got what, a pound of the ground turkey?
1 pound of ground turkey, so it says about 1/4 of a teaspoon, but I would probably use like a full teaspoon or 2, and then a full tablespoon of this, and then just like a 1/2 ounce. So we're gonna try this, and then next time, if we don't want Worcestershire, we'll take it out or add something else.
Change it up a little bit.
Some people like a little tangy burger or barbecue, put barbecue sauce in here. So there's no real set recipe, but once you make it the way the recipe says, then you can tweak it your own way, is what I suggest.
And doing something like the turkey burger, it's a nice way to feel like you're having that really good juicy burger. It's low fat, excellent protein, not heavy either. It's much lighter, because I know in the summertime with the heat, a lot of individuals, you know, we're just not necessarily as hungry with the heat, and we kind of just want to keep meals simple and quick like this.
Yeah, and I was gonna put some Sazon in this. I mean, you could even make a taco burger, really, if you wanted to. Just add taco seasoning to this. I make turkey burgers at home, and I think turkey burgers are better than beef. They stay moist longer, and they stay moist during cooking. So literally, I only use turkey for tacos anyways. And then you could make like a poblano sauce, roast some poblanos, put it directly on top, maybe some melted Mexican cheeses. Sounds great to me. So this is done. What we're gonna do is gonna make up a couple patties. And I'm already throwing meat all over the place.
Not much. It's not ideal.
So a lot of times people will just go like that and then they're done. I had a burger expert tell me that you're supposed to flip it back and forth at least 100 times. Yeah, to get all the air pockets out and to get all the impurities out. And honestly, when you just look at it like this, you can tell the difference between doing it for 10 seconds or 5 minutes. I'm not saying do it for 5 minutes, but just 1 extra minute, and you can kind of tell the difference, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So this is going to have less air pockets, and this is going to have more, right?
Right.
So this is going to be a little bit more firmer bite to it. So
and probably cooks more evenly as well.
cooks evenly, and it won't have dry spots because of the air pockets. The air pockets will steam and then get dry and then overcook in that one spot. So there's a lot of different ways it can mess that up. But literally just take, I can already see it forming right now. You can already see the wrinkles going away. 2, and this was 1 pound of turkey. I don't think 1/4 pounders after they're cooked are really big enough, honestly. But we're gonna have a burger each, and I have this left over, so that's gonna be for the kiddies at home, or for my dog.
And if the size is too big for you, you know, in terms of this, when we finish this product, you can make them smaller, or them in half.
Yeah, make little sliders, get some Hawaiian bun, make some, you could do, actually, there you go. You could change pork for this, get Hawaiian sliders, and then use a moi poi, like a sweet onion powder or sweet onion sauce, and then make like Thai burgers or sliders.
That sounds fun.
Usually I would try to make all three the same size, but I'm starving, so I'm gonna hit a big one. This one's just gonna come out earlier. This one, literally I was gonna make 4 quarter-pounders, but I'm hungry. So these are good. These are about, I wanna say about 7 ounces maybe each. And then this one's a little like 3 or 4 ounce. Let's go to the oven. Okay, here we are. I just put like 2 tops full of canola oil. You want to use canola or corn or anything like that. Definitely not EVOO. EVOO, the smoking level is way down here. Like butter scorches, so does EVOO. Doesn't really have much flavor at all, but the smoking point is well above 350. I believe it's 475 compared to EVOO, which is like 108. So we got the oil in here. You can start to smell it a little bit. I'm actually taking my spatula, putting a little bit of oil on it. Go ahead and touch it. And you want to hear that. You want to hear that. And if the oil's not there, just move it around. Now I contaminated this handle though, so now you have to be conscious of that. And then I would say just about 5 minutes on each side. Timer. 5 minutes. Okay. I will put this on a relatively higher, medium high, I guess. The outsides can get burned very quickly, especially because we use garlic and onion powder in here. It does not matter if you flip it too many times, really, but the first time you want to make it have a nice crust on it, so you don't really want to touch it. And you see how I'm going back and forth? Now all the burgers are sliding, so it probably means that there's a good, nice brown base on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for a little bit longer. Oh, now you can start smelling the garlic and the Worcestershire. You can really smell the Worcestershire now.
Yep, getting those aromas.
I'm going to wash my hands real quick, rinse this off, and we'll keep going. Okay, so it was looking a little dry in there, and what I actually chose to do was add a little bit of water to kind of steam the outside. The outside's already cooked, nice and brown. It's a little black, but it's going to taste great. It's going to have a nice crisp. Not sure if you can hear it yet, but no, not yet. So these are about done. It's been about 12 minutes. Normally, to take the temperature of the middle, it's supposed to be 165 or higher. I definitely suggest temping these. They are a little thick, and if you don't put a thumbprint in the middle, they will make a little bit of balls. But the funny thing is about that is I prefer turkey and chicken burgers to be a little bit more of a ball because that's how it retains the moisture. If you flatten it out too much surface is getting heated and too much liquid will be taken out. So you see right now where the liquid I threw in there is starting to thicken up, so I think that's good. I'm going to kill the heat, bring it over there, and plate it up. So we're just going to let this rest for a little bit while we cut this, take advantage of our time. I like mine cut super thin. How about you?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Super thin. So I'm just laying some onion down on the bottom. Of course you can use cheese, but I think most of the time cheese takes away and distracts you from the actual taste of the meat and the seasonings. It's like almost like adding cream or something like that to a hot sauce or something, right? So I usually don't like to eat cheeseburgers sometimes when it's grilled, but I do like to add some thin cut tomato and thin cut red onion. And I mean thin cut. And what I normally do is I put my pickles and tomatoes on a towel like this, because then all the excess water won't soak up the bun, right?
Smart. Now, if you're laying it out, let's say, on a plate for people to, come by assembly line, would you still put it on a plate or put it on a napkin and then kind of lay them on a plate after some of the liquid's been absorbed out?
Yes, actually what I do is I would take a plate like this and then just shingle the tomatoes like this onto a towel like that.
Okay.
Lay this down here and then maybe the onions there and put that for accoutrement. I actually like to do the same with my pickles.
That's a great technique. I never even thought of that, but it's very true because you've got your burger that's juicy. If you put high moisture toppings on there too, now you've just got a soggy burger.
Yes. So literally I'll take a whole bunch of pickles just like this. Pat them down a little bit. Do you like pickles? I forgot to ask.
Yes, I do. I especially like anything that other people are making.
Good answer, good answer.
I am not picky when it comes to that.
Let's go ahead and plate these.
Now, because I heard you say it, and I hear it said when I listen to cooking shows and what have you, in terms of letting the meat rest, what is because I get impatient when I'm cooking, but I hear that it's really important.
It's
Why?
probably the most important thing you can do.
Oh, I skipped that part.
So if you wait for 5 minutes, typically is the wait time for like a nice thick steak. The steak will cool down and the juices will absorb back into it. So literally, I've done this at Le Cordon Bleu at school plenty of times. We take one, we rest it. We take one that someone just pulled off the fire and we put it on a cutting board. Same cutting board, same weight, same knife, same everything. Cut it, pour it into a measuring cup, and you would be just astonished how much juice is wasted when you don't let it sit. These are done. Some people like to toast their buns, but we're not going to here. Balsamic vinaigrette. Balsamic vinaigrette is underutilized. So a lot of people don't understand what balsamic vinegar is in the first place. It is the only one that is derived from a Concord grape. There's a lot of different ways to use it. And during the summer, I like to have a fresh cucumber salad with tomatoes, maybe a little basil on top, and that goes really well with that too. So what we're gonna do is,
I love reduction on things. I need to pick myself up at the store. It's one of those things I don't put on the list and then I forget it and don't even think about it until I miss it.
so a lot of people are like, oh, how do I put it on there? How do I put it on there? It's so simple. This high, and done.
And just look at how elegant that looks.
Now, imagine if you had this whole entire plate, how pretty it would look. And you could put maybe like a serving dish of balsamic in the middle. I could totally see someone walking around with a drink in their hand and just...
Yep, exactly. Exactly. I've seen them where...
Couldn't help it, I'm hungry.
I've seen it where people put them in individual little cups. So people can just pick up a cup either way. But on the skewer, I think that's a fabulous idea. Nice and easy, simple. People can continue to mingle at a party, any type of party, but it's great for barbecues, like you said, with the fresh basil, the fresh tomatoes. You can't go wrong.
Yes, and then you have kind of like a spicier, hot meal here with like some strong flavors, and then you have some nice, fresh, bright flavors here. You could actually even, if you were so inclined, add little, because you want to make them about the same size, right? Add little pieces of red onion to this.
Mm-hmm.
Not as long as it's not too big, but you want it to look relatively the same size. One of these, probably this one, and get a little bit of extra bite into it. I prefer to maybe like dice it and put a little bit on over it or on the side or in the serving dish. And I think it's amazing for a really cool like poolside party.
You can't go wrong. this is something that's easy, and right now, in the middle of summer, we're looking for easy, but yet impressive.
And a quick tip, a lot of people are afraid of making burgers like this in their kitchen, and I'm not sure if you noticed, but we didn't even have the fan on. The only reason why I put it on at the end is because I added a little water and it was a little cloudy. So it's not too smoky in the house. You can do it on the grill, obviously, but these are, when they're first patty form, they're a little thin, so they might go through the grate. That's why we're doing it on the stovetop.
Thank you, Rocky, so much. Great, great tips.